Hey everybody, a happy Monday to you out there in TV world. Thanks for joining us here on Northern Life. It was so cold this past weekend, Ryan. I know we talked about the exploding trees earlier in the shows, but me and my brother were sitting outside Thursday night into early Friday morning, and we were literally listening to the woods pop. It was so cool.
Jeez.
It got down to probably 32, 33 below out at our place, and it was just so cool to sit out there in the freezing cold, all bundled up, and just listening to the trees pop with nothing else making sound out there. It was so cool out there.
Braver man than I. You know, I went to the gym early Friday morning and I was trying to turn the car on and did the
Oh, jeez. It went?
Yeah, it finally went. But man, that poor car, those cars out there here in the Northland definitely got a shock to the system.
Yes, definitely a test of all those batteries out there in the Northland. Oof.
Man, hopefully y'all are bundling up, having a better start to the week here. Hey, let's get to another voicemail sent to us by one of our Northern Life viewers on our text line.
Hey, Hunter and Ryan, this is Pat Stroy calling, and I live in Linden, Duluth, and I am going to keep this number and know that I like you guys. I watch you every single day, and I just think you're great, and I just wanted you to know that. So I will call back. I have something important to tell you. Thank you very much. Bye.
She's so sweet. Thank you so much, Pat. I love. She probably actually saved it into her phone, I think is what she did. So thank you so much, Pat.
I did text Pat back and ask what the question was. I'm still waiting on a response.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
But Pat, if you have the question, feel free to just record that voicemail again by calling our number, and we'll get to it. We'll answer it for you.
Send it our way for sure. It's cool that we have this connection between the audience. This little phone number here that anyone can talk to us at any time that you want to. You know,
sweet.
So pretty darn cool. Coming up on today's show, it's going to be a cool one. Of course, we're going to take you on a trip back in time to Tower, Minnesota in 1996. And with only a number of days until the Winter Olympics kicking off, we're going to hear about the journey from champion cross-country skier Jessie Diggins. A fun show here in store for us, Ryan Half.
Yeah, Minnesotan Jessie Diggins as well. So we're hoping for big things coming up, in February here at the Winter Olympics.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So at the end of the last week, many of us were huddling up inside, away from the cold temperatures. However, our Northern News Now Today meteorologist Brendan Pham continues to prove that he is not afraid of most things. He posted that he spent his cold Thursday over at Duluth Spirit Mountain skiing, willingly in below 30 wind chills out there.
It's so funny because I like to think of us, me being out in the woods and everything, like I'm a true Northlander. I'm rugged, I'm in the woods, whatever. But then he posts something like that. He's out surfing, he's out skiing. He is truly a Northlander, and he's from the East Coast. He's crazy, and I admire him so much. I love living vicariously through Brendan Pham and just seeing what he's going to do next out in the cold.
He's also got all the gear, too. Shania and I were talking with him on Friday, talking about why don't you just decide to drive to work as opposed to biking to work. He's like, well, my car doesn't operate too well in these conditions anyway, so I know I'm already bundled up on my bike ride, so I'll just do that.
That's the other thing. On Friday morning, the coldest morning of the year, I'm like, all right, so you're going to drive tomorrow morning, right? And he's like, no, I'm going to bike. What are you talking about? I'm like, you are insane. What are you doing, man? But he's awesome. Just unbelievably cool.
It's one of those things where you're already too far in, you already do it a lot, and then it's like, I'm already kind of used to this. It's just a slightly colder, but by slightly, I mean a lot colder.
Yep.
But, he's already doing it, so
good for him,
he's going
man.
to keep on doing it. Either in the cold or the heat, Wallet Hub has rattled off their 2026 best states to raise a family. Top 5 states on the list in order this year. Number 1, Massachusetts. Number 2, Minnesota. Then we have North Dakota, Wisconsin coming in at 4, and then 5, Nebraska, based on factors like education, safety, and affordability. Michigan was, I think, about in the 30s, so ranking near towards the middle of that national list.
Okay, there we go. Those out there maybe wanting to start a family someday or something like that, might be a good idea to stay right here in Minnesota and live it out here. This is a great state, Ryan Half, don't you think?
I think it is great, Hunter McCullough. Start planting some roots, huh?
Yeah. That's easy. I was going to say something else, but don't say anything else.
You're good. You're good. Hey, let's get to North Dakota now. For the past 5 years, one family has made the same promise. That family which planted roots there. Every Friday, the Buckhard cousins meet for coffee in Minot, never missing a week. So the tradition started at a funeral when they realized they only saw each other for goodbyes. So they decided to change that narrative. Now, some Fridays, dozens of cousins show up, sharing some stories, laughter, and old photos. So what began with loss has now turned into a weekly celebration of family.
That is so cool. Family is so important, and cool that they're able to keep this thing going for 5 years straight. That's such a long time to be meeting with everybody, especially cousins. I feel like, my cousins, I see maybe once or twice a year. I love all of them, but I want to be able to see them more. It's tough. They're so spread out, but cool that they're able to do that.
Yeah, cousins too. They start their own family. They're planting their own roots in Minnesota, Wisconsin, wherever else. And then it's like, you only see them on either the big things or, sadly, the less, the worse occasions.
Yep, so, that's horrible. Make time for family. It's very important, definitely. With all the snow we see during our Northland winters, experts say there's no specific age that's too old to shovel snow. However, there are risks, especially in cold, heavy snow. The American Heart Association notes adults over about 45 should be very cautious or ask for help. Snow shoveling is very demanding on the heart, and if you choose to shovel, take breaks, pace yourself, use warm clothing, and stop if you feel chest pain or shortness of breath. Very important there, Ryan.
Yeah, the other thing too, it just brings me back to shoveling my parents' driveway growing up. Every single time you hit a crack in the driveway and that thing just goes right into your gut, that always hurts.
It's the worst. It's just a gut punch. You take off everything. You see a bruise there for a while. It's like, what am I doing? Why am I living here?
Thanks, Mother Nature.
Yes.
Yeah. During the winter here, finding food is already tough enough for our upper Midwest birds, and sadly, it's even harder when temperatures drop below zero like we saw on Friday. Many rely on bird feeders, and during extreme cold, food is essential to keep their energy up and their body temp stable. So experts say feeders and seeds should be kept dry to prevent mold. Berries, nuts, black sunflower seeds are the best type of food sources. And then raptors like owls and hawks are also at risk this time of year. They're often hit by cars, sadly. So if you find an injured bird, call your local experts, place them in a box with a towel, and also keep it warm.
Just that owl on the image was so heartbreaking. What a sweet bird.
Yeah, keep those birds warm out there. Coming up, our weekend scene, very similar to what we saw 30 years ago.
So the other day, this is super cool, our evening director, Ryan Scorch, found a gem from 30 years ago talking about the day our station launched an official webpage.
Yeah, and now the same Ryan sent us a freezing story from Tower, Minnesota, similar to what we saw on Friday back in 1996, brought to us by Dave Anderson.
When you think of bone-chilling cold in the Northland, many people think of International Falls, the icebox of the nation and the king of cold. These days, though, the king is facing some serious challenges from some not-so-young regional upstarts. Ely, for example, set their all-time record low last week, only to watch a new one set at 51 degrees below zero yesterday. But even that pales in comparison to what the folks in Sedan, Tower, and Embarrass have gone through recently. Just a short time ago, they woke up to 57 degrees below zero, just 2 degrees off from the Minnesota record. Today, we could see that record shattered. Why are we so cold right now? Well, for the answer to that question, I asked Chief Meteorologist George Kessler in the warm confines of the Weather Center.
Tower and Sedan and Babbitt and Embarrass are all at the foot of the Vermilion Iron Range, and what happens during the wintertime is that cold air forms on the side of the hills. But because it weighs more, it's denser than the air around it, it rolls down to the bottom and tends to collect right in town. So in an already cold place, the coldest of the cold tends to pool in probably the bottom 50 feet of the atmosphere, and that's what sets us up for state record-busting temperatures.
Even for this Ely native, it's downright cold out here. But for the folks in Tower, it's just another day.
Well, Tony, can you tell me what Tower folks are thinking about this record cold snap?
Well, it's pretty much business as usual. It does slow people down a little bit, trying to keep their vehicles running and so forth, but it's not our first experience with this kind of cold weather. We've been pretty fortunate. We haven't had any problems. We've been keeping the kids inside, and everybody's starting to get a little bit of cabin fever.
As any Northlander can tell you, cabin fever sure beats frostbite, and with temperatures like this, that is a distinct possibility. From Martilla Drug to the President McKinley Memorial, it is dangerously cold. But if the Tower area wants to get its name in the record book for the state cold spot, they'd better hurry. There's a chance we could rise all the way to a tropical 0 degrees by Monday. In Tower, I'm meteorologist Dave Anderson from the Channel 6 Weather Center.
Oh my gosh, so many things to unpack there. What a great package, by the way, by Dave. Cool to hear his voice, and just so many years ago, 30 years ago, cool, his legacy right there showed by that package. Tower obviously eventually did break the record that night. 60 below zero is still the record there in Tower. You know the story between Tower and Embarrass, kind of fighting each other about who has the coldest record. That's also interesting. And then George Kessler, as a old, a Northland nerd like myself, loves seeing him back on the airwaves. I remember watching, I was sitting in a Dixie's bar. I was eating some fish, their fish fry, looking up there, and he was getting his beard shaved live on air. I forget what year that was. It was like 2012 or maybe even earlier than that. So pretty cool to see his face.
That's awesome. You know, not to date Dave there, but I think I was just born, you know, when that story came out.
Yes!
I think December 95, and that was probably early 1996.
Yes!
So, and Hunter wasn't even born yet.
No.
It's cool to see Dave back, you know, more towards our age in that pack.
I love him laying down on the snowbank right there. Hey.
He's still got the same humor after all these years.
Oh, we love Dave. That's super cool. Listen, with the Super Bowl now set, people all across the country are experiencing the highs and lows of being a sports fan.
And no matter how good your team is, experts warn that it's important to keep wins and losses in perspective. Lee Waldman tells us what you should do when those losses inevitably come.
From the thrill of victory,
it means the world to us.
Champions.
To the agony of defeat.
I feel terrible. It was so close. So close. We should have won it.
Being a diehard sports fan can have a real impact on your mental health, both positive and negative.
It brought everybody together. We're just all excited to see what the Bears can bring to the city.
Happens every year, man. Bills lose it every single year.
Experts say that rooting for a sports team can help foster a community, reduce feelings of loneliness, and even boost self-esteem.
If you look at the videos about Indiana, you're hearing, we did it. We won the national championship. And because there's like that sense of identity that becomes connected to us. And it does, there's a chemical process going on.
On the flip side, when our teams lose, it can trigger a negative response.
There can be some anger, there can be some avoidance, withdrawal. It can hurt relationships in certain aspects.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Patrick McElwain says that it's important to keep wins and losses in perspective.
Try to look for certain ways that you can have hope for the future. Limit yourself on social media, because that can, kind of increase the anger and increase the frustration and despair. Find something that's healthy, like a hobby.
Most importantly, fans should always remember,
always next year. Always next year.
It's always next year. Go Bills.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
We say that quite a bit as Vikings fans.
Yeah, I don't know how my dad does it. My dad grew up a Buffalo Bills fan, watched him go to the Super Bowl
four times, the exact same thing as the Vikings.
And lose, and then now also he's been a Timberwolves fan ever since they become a team.
Oh, how does he do it? How does he sleep?
We'll
oh my gosh.
Get Jeff Haff on Northern Life talk about how to deal with disappointment.
Yep.
Well, hey, coming up, a hometown champion is looking for even more success in Milan. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Going back to the sports thing, I remember my first ever just upset with the Vikings. When I first kind of got into the Vikings, that was back, I must have been the NFC Championship game. Brett Favre was our quarterback. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
When he threw that interception. Oh my gosh, that was just, I could feel it burning. But what about you? Remember your first?
I think that was about the same thing, because I think I was watching it by myself in my basement.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't even know why we had to do that. That was disappointing. Watching them get blown out by the Eagles then in the NFC Championship game after the Minneapolis Miracle, that was pretty bad too. And then you learn about all the other disappointments that the Vikings have caused.
Yes.
in the years prior. So.
My dad, when we watched that game, he said, welcome to being a Vikings fan. I'm like, yep, you're right. We got jalapeno poppers. We set everything up. I'm like, this is going to be a great game. And nope, didn't work out.
There's more to enjoy.
Yep, unfortunately. If you've spotted tiny black specks hopping across the snow in Wisconsin, they're often called snow fleas. But they aren't fleas actually at all. They're actually springtails, tiny harmless insects that don't bite people or pets. They jump using a tail-like appendage and show up most in winter because their dark bodies stand out on the snow. And while they may look strange, they're actually good for the environment, helping break down organic matter in the soil. I've never seen this in my life, Ryan. Have you?
I've never seen this either. I would just assume that they were, flies or, flying ants.
Yeah.
I didn't know that snow fleas was a thing in Wisconsin.
How can anything live in this cold? My gosh.
Yeah. How do we live in this cold?
Seriously.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's talk about the Winter Olympics. Champion cross-country skier Jessie Diggins pushes her body and mind to the absolute limit.
That's right. Before she competes in Italy, let's step into the pain cave with her.
A lot of people say, how can you be so happy and then be in so much pain? And I can assure you I'm not happy to be in pain, but they are kind of this great inverse relationship where the happier I am in my everyday life, that's when I can really push into the pain cave.
To the roar of the crowd of her home World Cup, Diggins gets to the podium.
I'm Jessie Diggins. I'm a cross-country skier, and I'm from Afton, Minnesota.
Here comes Diggins! Here comes Diggins!
And it is Jessie Diggins! The first ever cross-country gold medal for the U.S. Jessie Diggins bursting to the finish line when she was running on empty, totally exhausted.
This sport is so demanding. I mean, it takes everything that you have. So for me, the biggest why is because I want to see what I'm actually made of.
Jessie just so gritty. This is the kind of race that she is going to just mentally put herself into.
When your legs are on fire and your lungs are screaming and your brain is signaling that you should stop, I want to see if I'm tough enough to keep moving forward.
Diggins dazzling once again towards a new level of Olympic greatness.
I'm really excited to keep inspiring people in different ways, with my story, with my words. And you know, if I really miss that total body burn to the point of collapse, I can always go take my stopwatch and go out in the woods and time trial it out. So.
I got such a more appreciation for athletes like that, especially who compete out in the cold and in the snow, because I've only done like 3 or 4 miles now running outside during our Northland winters here, and my lungs are absolutely on fire, so I can't even imagine doing the links that she's doing.
Pushing yourself to the limit in that kind of cold, that is just, you got to, like she said, you got to kind of rewire your brain and be like, you know what, I can do this. That's insane.
It is definitely mind over body. I also went to college with Jessie's sister. She was also very nice. So,
that's pretty darn cool.
Best of luck to her this Winter Olympics. We'll talk about her blindfold after the break.
Welcome back, folks. When we see you again tomorrow, we're using our imagination to create a best smelling and selling soap here coming up. Very cool. We stopped by Mixed Cosmetics in Superior, putting together a combination of ingredients and scents to build a bar that both smells good and helps the body. It was a fun time, and we're going to have the full experience tomorrow here on Northern Life. And this woman was so funny, too. When we were talking to her, it was just such a blast. So much fun.
I got to say, if you don't like our jokes and you don't like our antics, you might not want to tune in for tomorrow's blindfold, because whatever we were doing, we were being pretty silly.
Yeah, we were firing on all annoying cylinders, if you will. So.
Yeah. And a future blindfold we just recorded earlier today, too. We had Hunter in the break room playing a game, paying homage to his old haircut.
One of my idols, Mr. Justin Bieber. Love the guy.
So look for that one in the coming weeks. But before we go today, an incredible photo to share, giving us a reminder to take a breath and slow down in these busy times. Adam said, here's a pic from Spirit Mountain the other night. He told us a group of his friends join up and ski down the hill starting at 6 a.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. He was fortunate enough to get the Northern Lights before a beautiful sunrise, adding that Duluth is pretty special.
It really is. That's beautiful. I wonder if he's friends with Brendan Pham up there, 35 below wind chill.
Probably hanging out together.
Absolutely crazy. Thanks for joining us today. We love you all.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Find some time to throw a line, or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern Life.